But time to get in another management. We have CMS Info Systems. They are on our radar. Remember, their quarter 4 numbers were pretty good. The revenues expanded, cash management business as well looked pretty strong, and the company has given an aspiration to get to around 3,400 to 3,800 crores of revenues by 2027. Mr. Rajiv Kaul, the Executive Vice Chairman and whole-time Director of the company, joins us on the show. Hi, good morning, Rajiv. Thanks so much for joining in. Well, tell us about this aspiration. You see revenues go northward. Have you factored in some inorganic growth in that aspiration? And also, if you could tell us segments that will do well as you head to the 3,500 crore band.
Good morning. Thank you for having us on the show. When we listed the company at the end of FY22, we had given a directional sense of our FY21 to 25 growth prospects, and we guided towards a 2,500 to 2,700 crore revenue, which is almost a doubling of the revenue over a 4-year period. As of now, midpoint, we're on track. And we just held our investor meeting, and we updated our investors in terms of how we aspire from the next 4-year journey from here on. So I think the 34 to 3,800 number is an aspiration for us. We feel most of this would be organic, but if we have to do anything bolt on to add capabilities and launch any new service lines, we will keep our plans flexible to accommodate that.
Okay, so 3,400 to 3,800 crores is the aspirational number by FY27, and you continue to hold on to that. Got that. Will any inorganic growth be a part of this strategy? And in terms of segment-wise performance, what will drive the growth?
So Sonia, I just wanted to, I was seeing the ticker on your screen there. The ROE numbers are incorrect. ROE for us for the last year is 21%, not 12.2. I did think I should point that out for both CNBC and for your viewers. In fact, we've done 2 years of peak Capex in the last 2 years. And despite that, our ROE has expanded from 19 to 20 to 21% right now. From a perspective of growth, we've been saying this, we are linked to consumption of India, right? Formalization is a big driver. And then banks outsourcing more services as they grow bigger, they will outsource a lot more non-core activities for them. I think we want to be a leader in outsourcing of bank services. So we think where we are positioned today as a country, and then specifically the BFSI sector, that gives us a great opportunity to grow in both our technology-led businesses and our logistics businesses to help us drive and achieve this growth potential.
In the ATM servicing managed services, could you give us a breakup of your current ATM counts and what would you like this to be? What would you like this to go up to?
So, let me give you the base first. In our logistics business, where we do ATM cash management, we today manage 72,000 ATMs, which is almost 25% of the entire market in the country, most of which still is an outsource for cash management. That gives us a very good opportunity for growth. In the managed services business segment, we also launched our new remote monitoring, which is an AI-led SaaS business just 2 years ago. That business is now clocking an annual revenue run rate of 100 crores, which is fantastic scale up for a tech-led business in India. In terms of our overall managed services pie, I think we have now got a market share. We have different businesses. Our market share will vary from 10 to 15% in managed services. But in the broader cash management market, our market share is at 40%.
All right. How do you see your cash collection business expanding? If you could give us an outlook from there on, and also in the verticals that you are in, you're holding some market share. Do you see you, build onto that market share? If yes, what does it head to?
So we have 3 large verticals in the cash management business. We have the ATM business, then we have the retail business, and finally the cash in transit. The retail business is looking very solid. It's bounced back very strongly after COVID. We see massive store expansion from everybody, NBFCs, retail chains, e-commerce, and all that is on the basis, I think, linked to the whole formalization drive in the country post-GST. So that business, I think, is looking for a strong double-digit growth opportunity in the coming decade. Our ATM cash management business, where our market share has grown from 37% to 47% in volume over the last 3 years, is looking very robust and strong because there are a large pipeline of RFPs from banks to refresh and expand their network. We have an aspirational growth, market share targets, but to take this 40% up, but we'll update you as we achieve them.
Okay, and this AIOT business, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. It's
AIOT,
an exciting AIOT. Okay, fine. The AIOT business, yes. It's in its nascency as of now, but it's growing. Tell us a little bit about the opportunity here as well, and what kind of monetary opportunity are we looking at?
So, Sonia, this is a business which is, I think, technologically in the third wave of this evolution, right? We are helping today banks protect their assets like ATM sites and bank branches with more predictive security features through technology rather than post facto. We think this is a very large runway for growth here because this is new technology, mostly SaaS-based and machine learning-based. We are focused on the domestic market for the foreseeable future. We have made a big scale up here with almost 22,000 sites which have gone live in the last 2 years, rendering that revenue profile I'd mentioned before. We would love to expand this to other sectors, especially like telecom and NBFCs and broader, where we like to work with large B2B enterprise customers. We are not a B2C play here. We feel the market there could be in thousands of crores in the coming 5 to 10 years. And I think therefore we feel this is a very strong opportunity if we can build and continue to invest in the technology offering here, because building these machine learning modules is very intensive, takes money, and getting them to work finally at the customer side is also quite an intensive job. We did it for ATMs and we ramped it up very well. Now our opportunity is to take it to other sectors in the coming 3 to 4 years. We hope this business will contribute to 10% of our revenues by FY27. It was roughly about 3.5% to 4% last year. And we think this should grow much faster than the rest of our businesses to get to a 10% revenue contribution.
So 10% revenue contribution from the AIOT remote monitoring segment by FY27. You spoke about the potential in ATMs and bank branches, but can you also expand this to other verticals like say NBFCs, retail, insurance? Is there a lot of scope there, and will you have to put in some money to work? Because I understand that you have a Capex plan of 150 to 170 crores. Would this include the AIOT platform expenses as well?
Absolutely. So if I just conclude on the AIOT, we made a small investment and acquisition about 2 years ago for about 20 crores, on top of which we invested another 100 crores into that, developing that platform and getting these wins and deploying this technology to create this run rate of revenue. We have had roughly a 220 crore Capex for the last 2 years. In the foreseeable future, we think our Capex run rate would be around the 150-100 crore zip code, which would include mostly growth Capex, out of which I would assume maybe roughly 1/3 could potentially go into the IoT business every year. But of course, you have to understand that this depends on opportunity and scale. I always say scaling technology businesses sounds very easy, but it is very intensive work. We've had a good run rate till now. We are consolidating and creating more AI modules. And hope we can continue that growth in the coming years.
Sure. Scaling of these technology businesses also requires some M&A, right? Some acquisitions. I mean, that's the only way to get to those ambitious targets. And your target of 3,800 crores by FY27 looks like it would need a little bit of an M&A push as well. Have you identified any acquisitions? And what would the cash be that you've laid out for these acquisitions, if at all?
So I want to reinforce that the 3,400 to 3,800 crores is not a target. It's an early aspirational goal which we are setting. We will update people as we first want to get to the FY25 goal. We want to make sure that we don't miss that number. That's what we have committed to. But we are starting to build to think about how we think over the next 4 years from right now. Our cash on books at the end of FY23 was 450 crores. We've announced a very strong dividend of 25% of our PAT, which will roughly be a 4.75 per se dividend once it's approved by shareholders. I think from a growth perspective, we will look at spending money for growth Capex and also M&A. M&A would be in meaningful expansion in the logistics side of the business and also the technology side, as you said. As of now, too premature to say how much and where, but we will update you as we get closer to something which is relevant to share.
Great chat. Thanks very much. And appreciate you sharing all of those, the outlook for various segments of the business in some detail. Thanks very much. Good luck. Well, let's move on. We have